Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Humankind, Amplitude's newest and biggest 4X release that will be releasing this month. It's been a while since I've talked about Humankind. It's been about a month, I believe, or more, since we last had the chance to lay our hands on the Edgar Allen Poe OpenDev. And we have a pretty big development here. I'll get right to the point, and I just want to read this, give my reactions, and then end the video there. But hey, everyone, it's hard to believe that after 4 years of development and 25 years of dreaming, we're just 2 weeks away from the release of Humankind, which confirms that we do have the game releasing as it was scheduled on August 17th, I believe. It's been an amazing journey with all of you, both launching our OpenDev program for the first time and working with our VIP community members behind the scenes. We hope you felt involved in the journey the whole way through and that you'll be as proud as we are of the result. In the meantime, though, we wanted to give a progress report on what we've been working on these past few weeks since the closed beta, as well as to announce the news that the Mac version of the game will be postponed a few weeks. More details on that further down, and sorry for those of you who do play Mac with Humankind, though I'm wondering how the stability will go with that, as I kind of had stability issues with Humankind just a little bit, so I don't know how the Mac will handle that, especially with thinner versions like the Mac Air, but I digress. Anyhow, what we've been working on, balancing and pacing. We got lots of great feedback from the closed beta on how we could improve the game's balancing and have been testing and implementing many changes since then. We balanced research cost and error thresholds to bring both in line and the desired game duration, rebalancing of many cultures, and then new religion tenets with more conditional effects instead of delays, instead of always desirable blanket bonuses, and I like that actually. I was finding science was just being, there was so much science you could get with some of the tenets. It was kind of ridiculous. I was getting up to like 120 science per site, which was pretty ridiculous. So glad to see that they're actually balancing that. So that I guess by conditional effects, they mean it'll kind of vary with your different strategies, and you might need to meet certain thresholds before you can get an actual bonus. Changes to some civics and ideologies to allow engaging with the system without losing the main source of stability. Again, civics was one of the big problems I had with the Victor OpenDev, and more so with the Edgar Allen Poe OpenDev. Though I think their pacing has definitely been improving from what I've seen over just playing some of the past 3 or 4 OpenDevs. And then added new unit abilities to offer a different combat experience for gunpowder warfare, which is going to be very nice. I always see games just not really elaborating on how big gunpowder warfare was, and then the change from gunpowder warfare to more mechanized warfare. I just like to see that there's at least some kind of change represented in the game, and it's not just like Civ 6 where you upgrade your unit and it's only represented by combat strength and maybe a little change in the unit icon. No, they're actually, at least hopefully, they'll be able to implement some kind of significant change for gunpowder units, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Zulu kind of balance that out, since they are an industrial era civilization and they still have a melee unit that will not be using gunpowder warfare as far as I know with the MP. So going to be interesting to see just how they adapt to that. The new system, pollution, this is pretty big. We've added a pollution system to the game which begins towards the end of Era 5. So around the industrial era, you'll start seeing pollution, kind of similar to what, at least if I'm predicting this correctly, it sounds kind of similar to how it works in Civ 6, where pollution is started to generate with factories and whatnot. I may be entirely wrong on this, but if that's kind of the approach they're taking towards greenhouse emissions and all that, pollution seems to be a threat. Hopefully they don't dial it down and you actually have to deal with pollution to balance your culture's production out with factories and whatnot. Maybe you have to put a few national parks down if they've even implemented that. And then diplomacy. I had a big problem with diplomacy and kind of negotiating. Oops, an error occurred. Anyhow, I had a problem with diplomacy, I think, in the Edgar Allan Poe OpenDev, though it's definitely been improving. I think that just the AI wasn't too, it was just kind of jaded. It was one-dimensional. There weren't that many traits to the AI, and they were always very negative. Like, I had this one AI that was like a backstabber. Another was like really prone to just declaring war and being overly violent, despite the fact that they also had like leanings to agrarian styles and pursuits and cultures, which like kind of contradict that like militarist approach. But I guess they have finally like started to really take a serious approach to diplomacy. So they're really working on that, which is great to see. They've added more depth, including new treaties and clear UI, which is great. Quality of life improvements. I always love QOL things. Things like better descriptions of the civics and their effects, always important. Plus the addition of video tutorials to help new players, very, very important. And then there is also now a fixed map for the 2 tutorial options when you first start the game. So I guess there is confirmation we are getting 2 tutorials, which is great. So finally, we have an improvement on the AI. Great to see. Firaxis was always very slow to take criticism for the AI. Even now, the current state of Civ 6 I made a separate video on it, but the current state of Civ 6 with all of the weird science bonuses and emphasis towards like these weird abstract yield pursuits is just very, very off-putting and jarring. So it's great to see they're taking an early stance on fixing and focusing on the AI, and we've improved the AI, the way the AI deals with the economies and armies missions. Levels of difficulty have also been balanced, which is great to see. So here's some more info on the Mac version. I don't use a Mac personally, so I guess I'll just let you guys quickly read this. You can pause the video here, or you can click on the link in the description. But this is just one quick video. I don't know how long it's going to be, like 10 minutes, but just basically confirming there's a few new changes. There's a big change with pollution. I'm not too sure about the specifics of the system, but I'm predicting it's going to be somewhat similar to Civ 6, where you have to balance that out with factories and whatnot and be somewhat environmentalist and be a bit of a conservationist in order to kind of stabilize climate change or whatnot. And also the fact that the release date is final. This is the first time they postponed the game, I believe. Earlier it was April 7th or something like that. So they postponed it one time, and then I guess it's just going to be finally released on August 17th, which is great to see. So if you want to see me play Humankind, let me know in the description, but I should be there on August 17th. I pre-ordered the game. I might be streaming it. But anyhow, if you like the game, or if you like the video, I hope I like the game, but if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe. This has been 4Extraordinaire, and I hope to see you guys later. All right. Peace.